back to Good Morning Kenya. My name is Migwi, and now we talk about transformative leaders. And today our topic is around the space of the boy child. Remember, this one conversation that ignites mixed reactions when it comes up, but today we are talking to one person who is passionate about matters boy child, and her name is Jane Mugo, already in studio. She is a teacher, a life skills promoter, and she terms herself as a boy child ambassador. Karibu sana to the studio.
Thank you so much, Mike.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well.
Yes.
I thank God. And I thank God for this interview, so timely.
Yes.
You know, it's a month. I don't know whether, not many know, by the way, when it comes to boys,
yes,
not many pay attention to what is happening around the boys' space.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So it's a month that we address boys' issues and mental health.
Yeah,
for young men,
yes,
and for young boys.
Very important.
So the interview is very, very timely. I thank God for that. Yeah.
So to start with, life skills coach, a teacher, and a boy child ambassador.
Yeah.
Underline boy child ambassador.
Underline.
Why?
Why the boy child ambassador?
Yes.
First of all, let me say, Mike, teaching entails a lot.
Yeah. Teaching
and mentorship are inter them. So let me give you the history of I being a boy child ambassador, because a question are being asked several times by people.
Yes.
Why boys? Yes, I'm a teacher, because they believe teachers are for all. For everyone. Which is true, for everyone. Yeah. So one time I was working in Kayole. It's interesting. And the students were about to sit for their KCPE. So M-Pesa Foundation came with their directors to motivate these pupils, yeah? Standard 8 by then. So when they came, they assembled them in the assembly, and they talked to them briefly, and then it came a time when they were to reward them.
Yes. And
I was so shocked. Mike, you won't believe it. The reward were the sanitary towels for girls, and panties for girls. And so our boys were just watching. And so after that, innocently, they issued the sanitary towels to girls and all that. And that was it. And then I could see from far where I was studying as a teacher, the boy was so depressed. I could tell. And I knew I had to do something from there. In fact, I faced the director and I challenged him, and he was challenged. And that's the time now they rushed to buy some biscuits to come and motivate them. Because I told them, even if you're talking to them, right now they are not concentrating. Already they have seen that bias. And so the boys, they got some biscuits, they got some, incentives, and they gave them. So from there on, I decided that now I'm going to take it up to me.
That was the point that you decided, now I'm going to become a boy child ambassador.
Remember, Mike, I was working in an informal settlement area that time. So there are so many NGOs who come to associate themselves with the school. So in fact, I was working for girls. I was in girls clubs, quite a number of them. But then from there, I changed my mind. And I said, now I'm going to start this crusade and advocacy for the boy child.
Yes.
Yeah.
You teach, you are a teacher.
Yeah.
And meaning that you interact with boys and girls in equal measure every day.
Yeah, true.
But in terms of growth, talk about the disparities or the differences in terms of growth for both boys and girls. Let
me tell you, Mike, a lot is happening, and as a teacher, I can tell you, I think my campaign was so timely. If you look, there are 4 stages of development that I know. The first stage is affirmative. Affirmation stage is when the baby is still in the womb. Then you affirm positivity for that particular child. Leave alone that one. Then we come to military stage. That is where discipline is instilled. And that's when now you continue building that bond. But you realize that when it comes to bringing up the boys, we make them believe they are men, right from that tender age. I remember one time in the staff room, and a boy came crying, purportedly having been beaten by a girl. And so the teachers in the staff room were like, "You are a man." They attacked the boy so wildly. I didn't take it kindly. So it continued challenging me. So you find that even the bringing up of the boy, right from the tender, they are made to believe they are men. You get that? Not to believe they are men to be responsible.
So they're not given that space to be children first.
Yeah. They are not given space to be children first. And that's where the problem comes in. And then we leave them. There's something called latchkey children. A latchkey child is a child who is left alone, everything provided for. After all, he's a man. So we are giving a lot of weight to the girls and forgetting about the boys. Yeah.
And in that interaction between boys and girls, what stands out in terms of perception, even for boys, knowing that we are boys and we are supposed to be protectors of these girls?
But are we giving them the space to do so?
Exactly.
We are showing them there's a lot of preference when it comes to girl child. Mike, you look at humanitarian organizations, humanitarian programmings. So they are there, they are favoring the girl child. A lot of it is and boys are singing. And you know, when they sing and they grow, that is what is affecting them mentally, because they feel they don't have that sense of belonging. They don't have shoulders to lean on. So it becomes a bit tricky. So as they grow with that bitterness. And you know, they feel they are rejected. And that rejection gives birth to bitterness. And then you know the consequences of bitterness.
So from what you're saying, it's, there are consequences that come with neglecting or overlooking the developmental stages of boys.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Come again?
The consequences of neglecting or overlooking the developmental stages of the young boys.
You know, Mike, when I'm doing my programs, I'm also taking care of a girl out there. And that is what not many people don't understand. And that is when we bring in the aspect of the conflict of interest. So when you're neglecting the boy child, as they grow with that bitterness, that is what I'm saying, it piles and it reaches a point, it erupts. And that is why you are seeing them, the bitterness, they are directing their bitterness elsewhere. Like the other day we had a case of a young man. I'm not supporting what he did, but sometimes we need to listen to them. So because they don't have a space where they can share, a safe space where they can share their predicaments, so they turn their anger elsewhere. And that is why you find them kicking and doing kind of things. Mike, if you are keen, 90% of suicidal cases are coming from men. And 90% of murder cases are in women. So men are doing it. They either kill or be killed. That's the thing. Yeah. So that is where I'm coming in now. I'm creating a safe space. Like now I have activities that we come together and we talk and share. So they open up. So a lot of them, at least I'm seeing, even from the social media, because I have programs that I'm holding, I have physical forums that I'm holding, and they're able to share, they're able to speak. At least they can see now there's somebody who is ready to listen to me. And then I thank God, because years back, you couldn't talk about Boychild. Nobody wanted to listen. The Boychild didn't have any space. Mike, but you see, I thank God, because if you look at Her Excellency Dorcas Gashagwa, is up in arms, you know, rolling out programs for the Boychild. So I'm and many other people who are coming together. And I thank God, because we are getting somewhere. At least the boys now are getting confident. They can share, they can open up. And I believe years to come, I think all these cases we are seeing, like mental illness and those such kind of things, will be a thing of the past. So being a teacher on one hand and also a Boychild ambassador, how do you juggle that? Yeah? How do you juggle being a teacher? Like I said, Mike, teaching and mentorship are in tandem. You cannot separate the two. So teaching is a lot. It's not about chalk, blackboard and red pen. You know, like I look at the kids and I see, like I told you the story of that boy who came crying, you know, and the boy was trying to express himself, saying, okay, the teacher wanted to know what happened. And then the moment that boy mentioned, you know, that boy mentioned, it's Maggie, you know, I'm just using that name. And then they're like, you're being beaten by a woman? Get out. What are you planting? What kind of seed are you planting in that boy? So I said, I'll work with them as I teach them. Yeah. So you have mentioned something about mentorship. Talk about what is the role of mentorship if you are to create a safe space for the Boychild? For the Boychild. Yes. The role of mentorship, okay. Like I told you, I've exposed them to a lot of activities. We do. A lot of activities like artwork and also performing arts. So I'm doing a lot. When we meet, as we meet, now I get that opportunity to talk to them. And we share a lot. Is it confined to your school, or you have branched out? It's not. Mike, I've been to schools. I've been to St. Paul Dika. I've been to St. Joseph in Githunguri. I've been to Aquinas Boys in Nairobi. Surprisingly enough, I've also been to Gadu Girls, because I remember the principal telling me, you're a teacher and you're doing so well in the Boychild realm. So why don't you come to talk to the girls? And I did it. Like I told you, as when I take care of that boy, that girl out there is safe. Mike, if you look at early pregnancies, every year we are given statistics. And I want to get this point right. Every I supervise exams, and every I have to get like 2-3 girls who are PG from that particular institution and many others. So every year they come and read the statistics, how many girls were pregnant, which county and all that. Why isn't it working? Because we are leaving men outside, Mike. So for me, with my programs are working because I'm telling the boy, take care of that particular girl. She may not be your cousin, she may not be your sister, but then help her, you know, realize her dreams and her ambitions. So this thing of conflict of interest, like I know I'm going to be given money if I start doing the girls program, is what is messing us up, as opposed to healthy coexistence. So how do we bring these two genders working together, Mike?
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yes. Speaking of that, talk about conflict of interest amongst boys as opposed to coexistence.
Yeah.
How does that play out?
Well, like I said, Mike, let me tell you, I've seen it because since I started, I remember when I was starting this program, it was never easy. I fund my programs alone, but of late, at least I've seen few friends coming in to assist me because they can see the essence of bringing the boy child on board. This is what is happening, and I'm not lying. Activists who are there, you know, purportedly, you know, taking care of the girls, they are there for money, truth be told, because I'm not even seeing the working. And that is why I'm insisting we have to come together, masculinist and feminist, because for me, I'm a female masculinist, and I'm proud of it. And I'm not doing it for cash. I'm doing it out of passion, because I'm seeing danger ahead. I'm seeing our girls are not safe either. Neither our boys are, mentally, everywhere. So that is why I said, instead of going because you want to be seen, because you want money, because it's not about money, greed. People have put greed first, because if I get money and I start campaigning for sanitary towels for girls, I'll get a lot of money, I'll be famous and all that. So for me, I say it's not, let us preach healthy coexistence, because we don't have two worlds where we have to have girls living elsewhere and boys elsewhere. We have these two growing together. At one time, they'll come together as a couple. What kind of a man is getting that girl? So if you are so much into cash, and because we are money-minded, that if I start a program for girls today, actually, I'm not even mindful of that girl, honestly, about 2%. But 98% are after what they are going to get, because truth be told, when you start a program for girls, there you are. But for boys, it cannot be easy. But I thank God nowadays, at least, people are seeing the sense of supporting the boy child.
And what can you say has been the impact so far of those efforts? Are boys acclimatizing to this new environment where they are getting empowered? Exactly.
You know, Mike, men used to be told, our boys, men don't cry. Even today, if a boy falls, like for example, he's just playing and he stumbles, mwanaume aliangi, just mabavi, it's a girl, she's really pampered. You see those kind of simple things. People say they are simples. These are things that the boys, they are learning, and they can see what is happening. So I'm saying, I thank God, because the programs are working well. If you look at my phone, I've got so many messages, appreciation messages from parents and from the young men themselves, telling me I've helped them a lot. So many of them are coming with the thought of suicide, because they feel neglected, they feel like nobody wants to listen to them. I remember when this incident occurred, the young man, the 19-year-old who kicked the police officers, and I'm sorry, of course I'm sorry on behalf of, as a boy child ambassador, I'm sorry on behalf of the family that I don't know. I remember even requesting, if it's possible, I meet the guy, you'll be surprised, he has woods within that is hiding. But you see, we are a judgmental society, because we don't want to accept liability. We don't want to accept that we failed, we left the boys. So we are quick to judge. Where did he? Sometimes we ask, we judge these young men na drugs. We always say, he's addicted. He must have been under, intoxicated or something. That is not the case.
Before even we reach to the drug abuse part, does culture have to do with it? Do we have in an African setting? Do we have? Can we say culture has contributed to this? The way that boy child sometimes turns out, because for instance you are saying mwanaume afai kulia, anakuwa akiambiwa you are not supposed to cry. How has culture contributed to this?
Mike, we are supposed to buy what is good from the culture. Some of these teachings are retrogressive, I would say that, because let men cry. We saw the actor Makoha crying his heart out when he lost his wife. So, and it was part of healing, because I remember when he cried even on air, he was given some few minutes, and by the time he's coming back to the interview, he was okay. So some of this retrogressive culture, talking of men don't cry, men don't do that, that is what is putting pressure, and they feel shoved. And when they feel shoved, now they react. Yeah. So I believe to some extent we should buy the useful culture. Let us not, let us not frustrate people in the name of culture. Yeah.
Now, for a man, or let's say for a boy or a man to get to that point that they are opening up, they must have gotten that space.
Yeah.
Where they are not judged.
Yeah.
Or they are not questioned because of their reactions or getting in touch with their emotions. How do we achieve that completely, where men can open up easily? Because if we are talking even about men's mental health, a space for opening up, a safe space is very important. Talk about that.
Thank you so much, Mike. Like I told you, I'm happy that Her Excellency took it up for her. And I think the more we are, the better. And the more confident these boys will have, when they realize that Teacher Jane, Her Excellency, and many other people who are doing the boys programs, so they bring them together through activities and various things where they open up their safety, and they are told, don't buy that boys will always be boys. Don't buy the idea that boys don't cry and all that. We assure them. We basically assure them and tell them you are human beings. Yeah. The only difference is that your sex determines who you are. Otherwise, you're a normal human being, like that particular girl. Yeah. So it's okay to cry. It's okay to share. It's okay to open up, because in most cases men don't open up. Women do, and that is why they seek sympathy. A story comes on air, and then we are there. Oh no. But you see, men don't. So we are giving them space. Talk also. Talk. Let us listen to you. Let us help you. Yeah. And I'm happy because they are
aspect
opening
of
that.
Being judged.
Many of them are coming to share their pains, their wounds within, and we are addressing them. We are working with them, and I would say so far so good.
But can you also say the fear of being judged is what prevents men from, or even boys from opening up?
Actually, not even being judged, but intimidation also. They feel that they will not be taken as men, and that's why I'm talking of retrogressive
But who is intimidating
culture.
them?
Yeah?
Who is intimidating them?
The ladies out there. Oh, yeah. And the society, I'm sorry to say. Let me tell you, Mike, advocating for boys is never easy. I've been insulted, because it's working. When you realize that people now are attacking you, then you realize, wow, it's working. And I'm happy for that, so I don't mind. Better.
When we talk about the boy child, the aspect of the father figure comes into play. What is the importance of having that father figure in the boy's life, especially when they are growing up?
Very, very important. Very, very important. Like Mike, I told you the 4 stages. Please allow me to visit them, especially the last 2.
Yes.
I talked about affirmation. Maybe I'll talk about it later. And then I talked about the military stage now. This is where you instill discipline from the ages of 2 to the ages of 7. That is where now you tell them, the simple things that they do. Why are you doing that? And then the child just cries out and all that. Then you have the 3rd one, friendship. And the 4th one, negotiations. That is where now the father figure comes in. The masculinity thing in you. So that's where you show industriousness, to be an industrious man, a hardworking man, a loving man, a respecting man. Yeah.
Are boys disciplined the same as girls?
Yeah.
From your own perspective, when it comes to disciplining, are boys disciplined the same as girls?
No. Theirs is different, and I think the society should explain that as to why.
But from where you stand, they shouldn't be disciplined the same.
They should be disciplined the same. Why do we use sex to determine who is stronger than who in terms of everything? I don't buy that. So that is the only thing that makes it different. So discipline should be the same. You don't tell me that the boy is going to carry a beam and then the girl is going to carry a bucket of water.
Yes.
It is start from there. And let me tell you, the moment they see, and I'm telling you, Mike, they see everything that happens, they see. And what is happening today? Look at the many girls when they go to tertiary institutions.
Yes.
These young men, it is not even a crime of passion. It's about that pain that they grew with. Sometimes they turn it to girls that you overprotected. So here we are. It's you versus I. And so he wants to prove something. Yes. And because you made them understand that they are men from tender age, what makes you feel like they're not going to exercise that masculinity in them and turn it to girls?
So it boils down to parenting?
It boils down to parenting. And I keep on saying that. In fact, there's a group I am in, and I told them to listen to me. We have a group on FB, and I know that it goes down to parenting. How often do you go out with that boy as a family for team building? They get to understand you. They get to share with you the pains they have within. How often? How often? They rarely do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So parents need to take that time.
They need to have time with their sons, and also let them take boys like they are super beings over girls. Like you find that if a girl is late, the mother gets home by 8, the guy is not there, she'll be mad. Because she's seeing pregnancy, nothing, and rape. But then the boy, that one is a man. So you can imagine. And you don't know where that they're also being molested, by the way. You know, people don't want to admit. The cases of molestation that I'm getting, Mike, are very many.
In schools?
Yeah, very many. And I thank God because they are sharing. We are able to help those that we are helping. But you see, when I come to do my research and I'm inclined to the girl's side, you don't want to listen to the fact that molestation on boys is happening. Sodomization is rampant, but you don't want to admit that. It is affecting them. It's taking them slowly, and it's a matter of time. If he doesn't commit suicide, he's going to murder someone. Yes. It's just a matter of time. That one I know.
Yes. So let's get to specifics. From your efforts as a Boychild ambassador,
yes,
what are the main, major challenges that you have singled out in your efforts to fight for the Boychild? That are, you can say, these are the main challenges that the Boychild is facing in the country right now.
Okay, I would say the major one, and I think it is general, lack of a safe space where they can share their pains. Mike, let me tell you, at one time I was teaching in a certain school, and teachers started complaining that boys are really absent from school. True story. And I wanted to know the reason as to why. You can't believe it. So it happened that one of the boys from that area in Kayole, that time I was working in Kayole, because that's where the challenges were. You know, young men who are being recruited. That is one thing. They are the target of the extreme violence, you know. So they are easier target. They are easier target. I don't know why they target the young men. And so this boy told me that the brother has not been coming to school because he doesn't have a boxer. You know, such a simple thing, a boxer. And so there was that conflict between the boy and the mother. And so the boy said he just became a truant and left. So from there I started a program, Protect My Dignity, buying boxers for boys, because it's a simple thing. It's a challenge, but people don't see it as a challenge. It is, and I want to tell the world to understand. And I thank God because so many people have bought me boxers, and I'm taking to these boys. And such a simple thing is really motivating them. That is one challenge. There is a target. Recruiting to whatever militia gangs. You get that? And I always say, if we allow that boy to be recruited, if we allow that boy to be mentally disturbed, we are not safe either. So it is a collective responsibility. People to come together, people to support me. We walk the journey together.
So has the girl child has been empowered more, but the boy child is not empowered enough to handle this empowered girl.
Exactly. And Mike, remember, when they came up with the idea of empowerment, in fact, I was for it initially. Then I realized later, it was not even about empowerment anymore now. It's like conflict of interest now. It's like now fighting men. Yeah. It was no longer there. So you realize that when somebody, like practically, if a lady, sorry to say, is caught maybe stealing a packet of unga, And people will be all over, oh, she's stealing for her children, oh, let her go. I'm imagining if the same happened to a young man who is also maybe stealing for his children. But you see, now we are already judgmental. We already know that men, I don't know, that empowerment is no longer there now. How do we use empowerment in quotes? It has brought a lot of conflict of interest as opposed to taking care of that particular young man. Yeah. Or even I've seen these girls. In fact, I don't know who are these people who are fighting for these girls. Majority are suffering. Actually, even from when I started my programs, I have my boys buying pads literally for girls in the clubs of boys that I have. So when I'm taking care of these girls, and early pregnancy are reducing, in fact, there's a content I'm working on early pregnancy with my boys. With my boys.
So
So
what are
if
you
we are
teaching
genuine
them?
in our empowerment thing,
Yes.
we are going to get somewhere.
So in that program that you have, what are you teaching the boys?
Yeah, on you know, healthy relationships. That's one thing that I'm addressing. Hygiene, reproductive health. Reproductive health is taught to girls. Not many people understand that even if boys are not on their mens, they also have wet dreams. They have stages that they need to understand that they are growing. They understand themselves. So I'm also addressing reproductive health, about hygiene, drugs and substance abuse. I'm addressing all that, yeah.
Let's talk about giving a voice to the boy child.
Yeah.
Besides education, what are other things that can help give the boy child a voice in a space where the girl child seems to have taken the center stage in terms of efforts of empowerment?
We do a lot. We do a lot. We do a lot of activities with the boys, and through those activities, they're able to share their pains. We do a lot. We do cleanup activities. We do bottle decos. There are so many things we are doing with them, Mike. And I think I sent you those photos, what those boys are doing. So out of that, they're able to share. They're able to talk, to speak up, because we give them opportunities too. So besides education, there are so many other things that we are doing. Yeah. The other day we did tree planting at St. Joseph, Githongori, with those boys. You can imagine, and they opened up on so many, you know, so many challenges that they are going through. Some of them that I've mentioned, on drugs, on so many things. They have so many challenges, quite a number of them. And unless we address them early enough, I believe after some time that's what is erupting, and they become something else. Yeah, almost untamable.
Yes.
Because we ignored them. You know, from the ages of 11, you know, boys reach puberty at 11. So between 11 and 17, if you're not up in arms to work with them, then from 19, it will not be able to tame them. Yeah. They'll be looking for somewhere else to turn their angers to. And that is why you are seeing them doing whatever they are doing. But what role did you play before that boy got to that? Before he started engaging himself in crimes and other and vices, what role did you play as a teacher, as a parent, as a society? Yeah.
So sometimes when a boy is rebellious, in a way they are asking for help without asking for help.
Yeah.
Like when a boy is rebellious.
Sometimes they communicate. Sometimes they communicate. And that's why I want to thank Sonko, the former governor. I was happy. Actually, I'm one person, and I think they also saw my post, because I could say, I would like to meet this guy. I would like to talk to him. I would like him to explain to him. Because you can't believe it, Mike. Children find it easier to share with their teachers than their parents. I think that would be a debate for another day. You ask yourself why a child would open up to a teacher, a stranger, because I would call the teacher a stranger as opposed to the parent. So there's a lot this boy can share, and I'm happy that he's out. He only needs someone to work with, and I'm sure if I get opportunity, I can talk to him.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's going to open up, because we don't want him to. You never know what he's capable of doing next.
Well, actually,
because the pain is still there. Remember, he has just been boarded out.
Yes.
So the pain is still there.
Yes.
So we don't know what he's capable of doing. But if he gets opportunity that Teacher Jane is here, Boychild ambassador, tell me, we talk. And then I'll be able to guide him. I'll be able to incorporate him in the programs that I do and join many others.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're actually going to talk about that very important aspect of opening up, why they find it easy to open up to other people as opposed to their own parents. But we'll do that after this short break. Don't go too far. Good Morning Kenya continues shortly.